Hey guys, Lightning Reviews here, and today we're reviewing this Frieza saga of Dragon Ball Z. No categories, let's begin. The first volume of this arc mainly is a setup, laying out all the pieces. It starts with the aftermath of the fight with Vegeta. We see Krillin's intelligence as he's able to think of a way to revive the Z fighters by heading to Namek, establishing the goal of the arc. We then learn of Kami's spaceship, which I love these spaceship and space reveals with Krillin's plans, since other viewers could also come up with these conclusions if they had time to think about it like Krillin does. We learn of Kami's backstory along with this. We learn they speak their own language and see Kami's spaceship. I love the conversation in the hospital with Chi and Gohan. Establishes how much of a bond Gohan has with Piccolo now, going to another planet just to revive him in person. We learn of Frieza as a character who rules Vegeta, the Galactic Overlord, which builds up anticipation for the reveal of him. On that note, Frieza has a great villain introduction. Through Krillin, Bulma's and Gohan's eyes, we see the chaos left behind him, his brutality. Then we see it first as his commander kills a Namekian without even thinking. Frieza's threats are actually intimidating, since we know he would go through with it, along with killing like children and anybody in his way, which makes him like 10 times more intimidating than let's say a villain who makes constant threats but never goes through with them. Now I want to go back a few steps and look at the scene on the spaceship with the trio. I loved the banter and I thought it was really fun. It was able to show the characters using dialogue exchanges. The Namekian warriors are shown, giving us some hope for them, along with Goku arriving on the planet. Namek's last hope is dismantled with Frieza's henchmen, dismantling our hope along with the characters. I want to talk a bit more about Frieza. The way he smiles during these deaths, as if it was normal, which it is for him, is very unnerving without much focus on it. Frieza's speech is also respectful with the way of all his actions so far. His brutality is further established when he orders Dodoria to kill the children, the moment he doesn't get what he wants, showing more his threats have weight. Also, I want to talk about Frieza's main henchmen. They aren't good developed characters, but they do possess a purpose to represent Frieza's brutality and the way he poses, along with hyping Frieza's strength up. Vegeta's growth is starting to begin. We can see this through a loss of the Scouter, which shows he's ditching his naivety. He also possesses a problem to the heroes because he can now sense Ki, making the fighters have to think creatively to avoid him. The volume ends with them meeting the Elder. The next volume gets into the plot of the story a lot more. The start of this one, in summary, deals with the battle between Zarbon and Vegeta, which was okay and a lot of trickery from all parties, trying to get the Dragon Balls. Goku's arrival on Namek gets closer and closer, making us more hyped up. Let's talk about Dodoria and Zarbon, since they've been appearing a lot more. As I've already stated, they're kind of just basically Frieza's main henchmen. They're not very good developed characters, but they serve as more of an extension of Frieza's brutality. Now let's move to the Ginyu Force part of this arc. Just from Vegeta's reaction, we can tell that the Force is bad news, saying even just one of them is possibly stronger than him, who had just defeated Zarbon and Dodoria. First impression wise, they are presented as eccentric appearance and personality. The weakest member nearly killed Krillin and Gohan, only Vegeta could save them. Quickly, I want to talk about Vegeta for a second. I believe his character arc is progressing since now he's working with his enemies, which can also show how much he hates Frieza and the Ginyu Force, and how much he wants to achieve his goal. A bit like Piccolo when he put his differences aside to train Gohan. To hype up the Ginyu Force as a threat, Raccoon is sent in, to which destroys Vegeta. This volume ends with Goku's arrival coming. In the Z-Type fighter's most desperate moment, Goku then arrives, much resembling his arrival in the Saiyan saga. But this begs the question, are the other characters just time buyers and stallers for Goku at this point? Before this, I did like how Gohan didn't give up and kept fighting against Raccoon. That was some really nice moments. Now I want to talk about Frieza's fight with Nail. Frieza's brutality is shown firsthand instead of making his men do the dirty work. He's willing to do it himself, making him more intimidating. The fight with Ginyu was good with some nice shots, mainly serving to hype up Goku. Also, the Super Saiyan transformation is heavily foreshadowed, which will add to its, presence later on in the arc. This volume ends with Goku switching bodies with Ginyu. The rest of the fighters, fight with Ginyu isn't very notable, but it takes Goku out of submission. Piccolo gets revived. Now let's talk about the Frieza fight. To talk about the fight with him, I'm first going to talk about the technical narrative between all the characters. If you want to know a bit more about that, go to my Saiyan Saga review video where I talk about it a little bit more in depth, and I point to another source which has way more on it. Anyways, Frieza argues the fighters can't overcome his power in his second form. The fighters argue back with Piccolo, to which Frieza argues back with his third form. The fighters come back with Vegeta with the Zenkai boost and Gohan. Then Frieza uses his final form to argue back. They then argue back with Kaioken times 20 Goku. Frieza counters with the Kaioken straight on Goku. Goku responds with the Genki Dama. Frieza struggles to argue back but uses his endurance. Goku has no counter until Krillin is killed. Goku counters with the Super Saiyan transformation. Frieza attempts to win with the Pant Explosion, but Goku wins in the end. Now let's talk about the emotional narrative, mainly goals and stakes in the battle. For Gohan and Krillin to win was to have a chance to revive their friends. Through Piccolo, I think this was the same for him as well. For Vegeta, it's revenge for him. For Goku, it's saving his friends, later to avenge Krillin, and for Frieza, it's his pride. We understand all parties' goals and who they are, so we care about them a lot more in this battle. Now let's address the, elephant in the room, Goku becoming a Super Saiyan. I love this form, it had a great foreshadowing, being mentioned by Grand Elder Guru as well. It's been so foreshadowed, the moment Goku achieves it, we know that it is Super Saiyan without even having to know what a Super Saiyan is beforehand. It represents the moment Goku broke with Krillin's death. It's ironic, Frieza created the thing he feared most. This was one of the best transformations in DVD, personal opinion. The ensuing fight was great, everyone gets revived in some last minute happy moments. Then we learn Goku survived. This arc was amazing. It was thrilling, especially in its final moments, and introduced one of the most iconic villains in DBZ, and the most recognisable transformation. This was one of the best arcs in DBZ, and I want to talk about something though. This video is considerably shorter than the other video I made on the same saga, even though this arc was 7 volumes long and the other was 4. I'll attribute a part of that to being my, inexperience when reviewing things. I'm not exactly a master at reviewing things still, so I'm still lacking in that department, but at the same time, I felt a lot of filler personal opinion there. I think they could have cut the arc down just a little bit more, not too much more, but Some of the fights was unnecessary. It felt like they were buying time. And with that, I shall leave. Goodbye.